You're still watching News Night on Arise News with me, Ndi Amoko. Controversies continue to trail President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's appointments into the board of the newly established North Central Development Commission, NCDC. Some interest groups are faulting the president's appointments into the board, describing it as politically motivated and lacking broad-based support. The Concerned Plateau Youth Forum rejected the nomination of a former Accountant General of the state, Cyril Senil, as the managing director of the commission. In a statement, spokesperson of the group, spokesperson of the group, Danladi Palm, urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to immediately withdraw the nomination, alleging that Senil's appointment is politically influenced and does not reflect the collective interest of the people of the state. In Abuja, some indigenous youths of the FCT have rejected the nomination of Solomon Adodo as representative for the people of the territory in the board for the newly constituted NCDC. The youths, under the auspices of FCT youth stakeholders, said the appointee, Solomon Adodo, is not from the FCT and should not be used to deny the people of the territory their right to be represented in the commission. We have Dr. Stanley Kavwam, Deputy National Public Secretary, Middlebelt Forum. He joins us in the studio for more discussion on this. Well, your interest group, believes that this is politically motivated. You want to begin to explain that?
No, I'm not my own interest group. I am the Deputy National Public Secretary of the Middlebelt Forum. The people whom you alluded.
You have the SCT, you have the...
the Concerned Plateau Youth Forum.
From Plateau, Plateau.
Well, first and foremost, I would... I am an academic, so I always want to situate my arguments in a proper context.
Yeah.
Development commissions across the world have between 4 to 5 cardinal functions or responsibilities. Number one is project formulation and planning. Policy implementation, formulation and planning. Yeah. That's the number one. The second is project management and implementation.
Good.
The third responsibility of any development commission is capacity building and empowerment. And then 4 is allocation of resources and their management, and finally addressing regional concerns. For instance, when you look at the NCDC, its primary responsibility is to what? To manage and upscale healthcare, education, transportation, and ecology or the environment, given the environmental degradation that oil exploration has caused the Niger Delta region. When you look at the Northeast Development Commission, it is primarily built on what? Resettlement of internally displaced persons, rehabilitation of people who have gone through, traumatic, experiences, and then generally to improve health and education brought about by what? The insurgency in the north.
I thought insecurity would come there.
Insecurity is equally there, of course, yeah. So, given the North Central Development Commission, which Mr. President has deemed it fit to give it life, and giving it life through the appointment of, I want to believe, reputable personalities. Dr. Cyril Senil, who was the Accountant General of Plateau State, is a paragon of transcendent ingenuity and proven integrity as well as tenacity. He is someone who has risen from the ranks, you understand, in the Ministry of Finance, right up to the position of Director of Finance and Planning, right before he was appointed as Accountant General of Plateau State. And I know that he left behind track record of excellence. And beyond that, this is somebody who is a cosmopolitan accountant, a chartered accountant for that matter, who has traveled far and wide and has been able to digitize all financial systems on the plateau. So for a group coming out to, lay claim to the fact that his appointment is politically motivated, first and foremost, it's actually a political appointment, because the president doesn't look, the president would certainly have political considerations for appointing any person. What would matter if that appointment could be questioned, I believe, should be whether the person is not from the North Central region. But given that Dr. Cyril Senyin is from the North Central region and has all the credentials required for that position, okay, I believe that, rather it is the protest by the is it concerned youth that it's politically motivated, not the appointment of the MD in this case.
No, it's the appointment. Okay.
Yes.
The thing is this.
Yeah.
If you want to solve a problem,
yes,
for a people,
yeah,
you will look inwards in their community.
Yes, sir.
You can't put a square peg
in a round hole.
In a round hole.
Yes.
See, for them, it's not about what you have outlined, highlighted.
Yes.
How lovely the man is, but for them, they are saying it does not represent the collective interest of the people. The same with the Adodo that was appointed. So they're saying is even denying the FCT their own representative.
Good. I was going to come to that. For the Ododo, it's a very, very legitimate and a valid argument.
Okay.
For instance, if Ododo doesn't hail from the FCT, then he lacks the moral right or justification whatsoever to represent the people, the natives of the FCT. But in this case, it's a completely different narrative. Have they been able to define what the collective interest of the Plateau people is? Mind you,
if they do not know,
because the point
they won't be talking about.
Sir, have they been able to define it? The answer is no. What they have done is just what? A sweeping generalization. Because if I say that what you have done does not represent the collective interest, what is that collective interest? Because number one, this is somebody who served the state as Accountant General and has never ever been questioned or held before any anti-graft agency for either misappropriation or abuse of office. He has
on
lived
the FCT.
Good. On the FCT.
If the person is not from there, you agree with that?
I agree with that.
But on the plateau, you don't seem to agree with that.
It's not that I don't seem to. Have they been able to place any argument that it's even worth? It's not even worth,
So you believe that phrase, in the collective interest of the people, is hanging? It
is just an unscrupulous statement that is born out of political mischief. And for me, let's be very, very frank. It's not everything you come out with, to the public space that you should be even giving audience. Because, for instance, if you talk about the collective interest of the Plateau people, what is the collective interest of the Plateau people, for instance? And in any case, the position of the managing director or the CEO of the North Central Development Commission is not the exclusive preserve of Plateau. Are you aware of that? It could come from any of the 6 states of the North Central. Plateau is only what? Lucky or favored to be picked. Benue, of course, by virtue of the letters of the bill setting up the commission, would certainly have the chairman.
So anybody could be picked from
the 6. Good. But for the position of the chairman, based on the letters of the bill bringing the commission into existence, the chairmanship would be picked alphabetically. And since Benue comes first, they automatically retain the position of the chairman. But that of the MD could go to any state. And so for me, I think this is something that should be welcomed by all men of goodwill, rather than the politically motivated contraptions.
We'll leave it there. Dr. Stanley Kavwam, Deputy National Public Secretary, Middle Belt Forum, on the issue of the NCDC.